for things to continue, they need to dump out the impatient buyers, honestly. So only the people that bought the fear right here on this whole dump, whether you bought it in this spike or whether you bought it down in here, only the people that bought the fear are really still in profit on this trade. Anybody that bought right in here, these are the only people that are really still in profit on this trade, no matter what this thing wants to do. Even if it dumps down here, you're getting stopped out with profit, okay? So you got to really look at this here. Like, anybody that bought this on the way up on the breakout here, liquidated, shook out, okay? Only people that bought the fear right in here are sitting in profit, okay? Still in profit, still in profit. If it bounces here, you're still in profit. If it comes down and stops you out here, you get stopped out with profit. And then you can reassess the whole situation if you want to, get rid of this trend line that if it broke, and then look for a retracement of the whole move and get back in. So a lot of this is, really just understanding where to buy and where other people are going to get screwed because they're going to exercise impatience. Like right about here, as this thing's breaking out, a lot of people are just chasing it. And then it flags up really nice here. Really nice flag up here, okay? But even this move got completely wiped out. Even this entire move got completely wiped out. So anything above here, you're only safe if you got in here at this point. This entire move got liquidated. And only the people that bought the fear of that move are sitting in profit right now, unless you got in before. So anybody who said in here, okay, I'm going to buy this dip, I'm going to buy the retracement anywhere in here, you're still kind of questionable. Only the extreme, dump out right here, this extreme dump out, this fear of like, oh man, this thing's going down. Only these people that bought here are in profit. Only these people that bought in here are in profit, unless you're holding it from down below, of course. But going with the momentum and the flow of the market, this is it. As far as, to get into Ethereum as it's pushing up, you literally have to wait and be patient to get this retracement and now be sitting in profit. So we'll have to see what Ethereum does right here, because I actually have a feeling that it's going to respect this little trend line that it's on, and it's going to continue. But it has to really just get people out. It's not going to let you have to remember, 90% of people are losing off of this. So if this thing, respects this trend line and continues, what it's going to do, these lines are way off today. Okay. If it kind of respects, wow, sorry, forgive me guys. This is just putting double lines and really laggy. Okay. This respects this relative trend line right in there. From where we started here, we're kind of going up, we hit it here. If this respects this right here, this would be a perfect pivotal point to dump out everybody who bought basically up here. Anybody who bought at this point in this entire area right here is getting dumped out right now. Okay. Anybody who thought, okay, this thing's gonna, it's gonna break, they're all getting dumped out right now and getting washed out, questioning their trade, maybe even sitting in negative profit, maybe even saying, hey, I'm just gonna get out of Ethereum. But not understanding that it's still kind of respecting a relative trend, and now this might be the place to buy other people's loss right here, because the market needs to spit people out that were impatient. You see it over and over again. Like, if you bought too early, you're basically washed out. Okay, it's only if you really plant yourself with patience and expect that move. So right here, this move that this is going through right now, this is rewarding the patient traders that might be buying this dump right here. Anybody who bought in here, and this is like, hours of consolidation in this zone. We got time that was in here, for a couple days, 2+ days of consolidating here, and then a dump out. That's almost the kind of dump that the market needs to say, oh, and then bounce off of that. So I'm always really like, I get very suspicious of things when they're getting close to their resistance line that they need to break. And then if they break down like that, that's usually, you know, in upward trend, that's usually the breakdown move that acts as like a spring to kind of spring it back out. Because, you know, we got rid of all of these buyers in here. They get sold, bang, and then it has a place to, like a pivot point to kind of jump back up off of. So we really want to be strategic in our placement. You know, we don't want to chase anything. So the rule number one is like, you know, don't chase it, wait for the retracement of it. And that would apply in any time frame. You know, whether it's, you know, if you miss this move here in Ethereum and you see it's getting, you know, obviously extended up like this, just wait. Just don't even look at the chart for a couple of days if you want to buy Ethereum. Just wait, because you have to realize that the market has to spit all these people out. It has to spit them all out and really consolidate and then find support again. And the only way it's going to find support again like that is when it dumps all these people out that were impatient, and then it gets a nice bounce by people who see, oh, whoa, it's getting down below 40, and then they buy it. So we'll have to see how this, you know, deals right in this area. But to me, it looks like it's set up for a nice place for it to bounce, if it's going to bounce, because all these people now are losing money on this dump, and anybody that's left from up here is kind of questioning right in there. So things, you know, they do kind of respect the relative trend. So we'll see if we get a respect on that. I know ETC got a pretty nice respect of its trend. All right, right in here. And it almost even bounced right off its trend. Now, what I want to show you guys too is that how things are basically set. You're really only going to make money in this if you're really, really patient, okay? Or unless you just have a stomach to deal with a little bit of loss at a moment, okay? So this one here, called this retracement, and I started rallying up here, okay? Now notice what this did when it broke out. Okay, this is why I don't really buy the breakout. I will kind of like, if I see something breaking out like this, consolidating up, and then it breaks out, I'll always try to come, you know, not chase it, but buy the breakout line. Okay, like, because price most of the time will come back and visit those price points, meaning that this was resistance for a while. Here, resistance, and then it broke. So it's broke to continue on, but before it continued on, it came back and clarified that this level was now supportive, and it even actually liquidated anybody who bought the break just in this little move. It came all the way down to the bottom of the accumulation zone right here after it broke. So it broke, and then it wiped out anybody in this area, or at least made them question their trade, just in the spike. So this is where, you know, when you see things break out, always try to keep your buys in the breakout zone still, okay? Or even the breakout line. Because this happens a lot when things break out. They come right back around and they stop people out, or they liquidate positions of people who are chasing it, and it tests that zone. So basically this accumulated here in this whole zone, broke the zone, and then tested that entire zone before it left. So if you waited here, you know, waited, even when it broke out, you still got filled here with your buys if you were patient, you know? And then again, it probably came down and tested the line. Okay, let's see. Okay, now this one didn't get tested the line. This basically broke and then broke here and then tested this whole zone. Okay, basically tested this whole zone and then rallied off of that. But we don't want to buy, when things are breaking out, you don't want to buy it right away. You want to expect for the market to say, okay, this is now support. You know, we broke through the resistance and now it's support. And that's kind of what it seems like Bitcoin's doing. Honestly, it seems like it didn't really want to respect the hourly cloud on the last video that I made, and it wanted to come back down and test the 1075 point. So let's just look at that real quick. Oh, it actually went lower. So this is questionable now. All right, this is questionable. Let's look at this real quick because I'm sure everybody's sitting in Bitcoin. Let's look at it the hourly here. Okay. Now we did not really respect this hourly cloud and continue up off of it. It seems to me like we have a situation here where we're now testing this zone right here. Okay, testing this level right here, about 1050 or so, which is basically this ascending triangle breakout test. And this is another example of how anybody who chased the break got liquidated here. Okay, so this thing coiled up in an ascending triangle, and we were looking at it where, you know, it could have very well made a bear pennant and continued down. It broke out of the ascending triangle formation here, and this is where all the volume comes in, all the retail traders chase it. But now what did it do? 100% retrace of that move. Okay, and it's testing this breakout line again. So anybody who exercised impatience here and bought this on the break got washed out. Okay, I even lost a little bit on a trade yesterday because I saw it. I bought this dip right here after we opened on the candles above the cloud here. I bought this dip right here, and then basically as it started going up, I moved my stop loss to about break even, but it was on margin, so I still lost a little bit when I got stopped out. But same thing, you know, I was even a little bit impatient because I was expecting this to continue on it and respect this cloud, but it didn't want to. It wanted to come down here and test this breakout line. Okay, this breakout line was resistance. This is a very important price point here. Okay, right here we had support, 1050, resistance, resistance. We broke the resistance. Okay, we broke it. Now we're coming down and we're really trying to say, all right, is this zone resistance or is it support? Okay, we're even. Let's see. Now I would use my candles, my lines, and I would say, okay, we got a little bit of an open close below this zone, but we'll have to see. If this respects this and starts to get opens and close off of this line, then we can say that the market clarified that this previous level of resistance with this line is going to be support. But the market seems like it has to clarify that now. Okay, so another example of you don't want to chase anything. Okay, when you see a breakout, don't chase it. Don't chase it. Even though it looks like it's going, chances are it's not. And here's another example of how it's not. You know, it comes right back down and liquidates anybody who chased this thing, and really is only rewarding the people who are patient or who are buying the fear right here at this point. Okay, same example. All right, this is set up to wash people out. All right, and we'd have to get a read on this, to play this move now, because it's such a questionable down impulsive move that if this level right here doesn't hold at this point, then we got to really start looking back to where it might find support. Okay, here, 61. If this line breaks, it's going to look for support here at this 61% of the whole move. But then we'd be trading back under the cloud again, okay, on my Ichimoku cloud. And we'll get into the Ichimoku cloud later. I'll probably just maybe take it off for a little while. But this is the kind of thing, you know, the market's going to move and it's going to basically liquidate people. All right. This could be a very nice entry for Bitcoin right now, basically seeing how it handles this line. If it wants to really start to open and close away from this line, then we can maybe say, okay, let me get into a long position and put my stop loss under this line, because it's already clarified that this line is support. That would be a safe play to say, okay, you know, we've already tried to penetrate this line. We're moving away from it. Let me buy it on its way away from it, and let me keep my stop loss under the line. Okay. That's another thing, you know, always use stop losses. You know, sometimes they'll bite you in the ass and you'll actually take a little bit of a loss when you didn't need to. You know, I'll admit they do kind of add to loss a little bit, but at the end of the day, the end of the month, the end of, you know, when you're kind of trying to calculate your profit, you know, returns, more times than not, you know, those little losses that they stop you out on, I find that the stop losses will save you from bigger losses in the long run, you know, because if you didn't have a stop loss on this, if you bought and you didn't have a stop loss, as you start to get into profit, you're just sitting negative. The more it goes down, you're just, getting closer to your margin call. And so I always will put a stop loss as soon as I get in profit. There's a small window of time that I'll get into a trade, and then, I'm kind of still sitting there, waiting for the market to move away from my entry so that I can kind of protect my entry with a stop. But once it gets, moving away from my entry, and what you'll find is when you practice this Elliott Wave principle and this strategy, and most of the time when you're getting in here on the number 2 or the number 4, the price is starts to rally away from where you got in. So your entry gets pretty safe, kind of fast, because you're buying everyone else's fear. You're expecting it to turn around. And so if you buy this point here and the price starts to move up a little bit, put a stop loss at break even. Because at the market, when it comes, at the end of the day, we don't have a crystal ball. The market's going to do what it's going to do. There's going to be, and especially in cryptocurrency, it only takes that one person with a large amount of coins to make, one stupid trade or sell at the wrong time that, that could wipe out a lot of people. So as soon as you get into profit, say you buy the number 2 here and it starts to go up, put a stop loss at break even. Even, sometimes you might even say, okay, the price comes back down, stops you out at break even, and then it starts to go again. Take the trade again. I've actually, in foreign exchange, sometimes it takes me 3 tries to get a trade. If I can't get it on the 3rd try, I give up. But I have tried to take trades, where, you see a market going up and you want to short it, and, you feel like, okay, this is the top, and then it comes back up, stop, and then you get in profit and get stopped out at break even, and then you try again. Okay, it's going up, you short it again, and then you put your stop at break even, and maybe you get stopped out again at break even. Then you try it again. I'll give trades about 3 tries. If I keep getting stopped out